Hello everyone. Today we're going to learn some useful Japanese phrases and words, and we're here with my friend Eric.
Let's go!
Let's go! My name is Andrew, and I'm an elementary school ALT in Sendai.
And my name is Eric, and I'm a junior high school and elementary school ALT in Sendai.
So as ALTs, we don't use a lot of Japanese in the classrooms.
However, there are a few words and sentences that you really should know. Number 1.
Ichiban! So some commonly used phrases in Japanese that I use as an ALT is greetings, because greetings are really important in Japan. So the first one is when you show up in the morning, you say Ohayo gozaimasu. You use this with students, with teachers, and even with family members.
And then after that, throughout the day, when you're walking in the corridors and you cross paths with another teacher, you tell them, Otsukaresama desu.
If you see a family member throughout the day, or someone that isn't part of the school, you can say konnichiwa.
And then when you're leaving at the end of the day, you're going to tell the rest of the staff, Osaki ni shitsurei shimasu.
And then the other staff members will respond, Otsukaresama deshita. Number 2!
Niban! So in Japanese schools, the day is broken down into different sections.
So you first start with the asa no kai, which is the morning meeting. Here, the homeroom teacher will take attendance, as well as talk about the plan for the day.
Afterwards, you're going to have your first period. In a typical day, you're going to have up to 6 periods. So these are called 1時間目, 2時間目, 3時間目, 4時間目, 5時間目, and 6時間目.
Throughout the day, you'll have yasumi no jikan, or kyuke, which is the break. So in elementary school, you'll have it between your second and third period, and you'll also have it after lunch at all the school levels. Here you'll have your break, and you'll get to play outside if you'd like.
And speaking of school lunch, that is called kyushoku. And this is prepared by the students themselves and distributed amongst them. And then you get to eat with them and get to know them a little bit better.
You'll also have soji in the afternoon, which means cleanup time. Here the students will get together to clean up all the different classrooms, the corridors, and even the outside of the school as well.
And the last thing that you're going to have in the day is kairi no kai, which means the before going home meeting. And that's when the teacher is going to go over what homework needs to be done by the students and make sure that they know what's going to be happening the next day as well for the rest of the week. Number 3.
Sanban!
So in Japan, you're always going to be eating with other people. So when you're in junior high school, that usually means that you're going to be eating with fellow staff members. And when you're at elementary school, you're most probably going to be eating with your students. So it's important to know what to say before and after your meals.
So once the kyushoku is ready, one person will go to the front of the classroom, put their hands together and say, Itekimasu, to signify the start of the meal.
And then when everything is done, the same person is going to go back to the front of the class and then we'll say, Gochitosama deshita. And then that's your cue to start cleaning everything up and putting the trays back where they belong.
Number 4!
Yonban.
So the next set of phrases you might use are titles here in Japan in the schools. So at the top you have your Kocho sensei.
And that is the school principal.
Below that you have your Kyoto sensei.
Which is the vice principal.
You also have your many Tanin sensei.
And that simply means a homeroom teacher.
You also have your Jimu.
Jimu is what they call here the school accountant. They're the person that they're going to be checking your hours for logging in, and also they're the ones that are going to be helping you with your travel expenses.
You also have your Hokenshitsu no sensei.
And that is the school nurse. Number 5.
Goban!
Schools in Japan, just like back home, are composed of many different rooms and buildings, so it's important to know what these are called and what they stand for.
So the first one is kyoshitsu, which means classroom, and you'll be teaching English here.
The next one is shokuinshitsu, which means the staff room or the teacher's lounge. And that's where you're going to be planning your activities and meeting up with teachers.
The next is the taikukan, which means gymnasium. Here you'll have your school assemblies, as well as also your disaster preparedness training.
The next one is hokenshitsu, which means the school nurse's office. And that's where you're going to be sending your kids if they're feeling sick or if they're injured, or if you yourself get sick or injured.
There's also the Itekimasu, which means multi-purpose room, and here you'll have large group activities.
The next one is Toshoshitsu, which is the principal's office. And over there, that's where you're going to be having meetings with your principal, and it's also, in my case, where I eat lunch.
And the last one is the kote, or the playground, or school grounds. And here you can spend your breaks playing with the children. Number 6!
Oroku Bond. So next is a few sentences that you might hear in the classroom often because they're used for classroom management. So you might use them yourself, you might hear your JTE use them, or you might even hear the students say it amongst themselves. So the first one is, shizuka ni shite kudasai.
Which means, please be quiet.
The next one is, suwatte kudasai.
Which means, please sit down.
The next one is, yoku kiite kudasai.
Which means, please listen carefully.
And the last one is, shutchu shite kudasai.
Which means, please concentrate or focus.
Number 7.
7番!
So next is a couple of expressions that you're going to be hearing around the school or that you might use yourself.
So one of them is uchiawase, which means the meetings, like the ones that you have with your homeroom teachers or JTEs to plan your English lessons.
The next one is bukatsu, and that means club activities, and these are done at the junior high school level. These range from the arts to the brass band to various sports around the school.
Another one is shucho, which means business trips, like the ones you'll do for ALT meetings and for training.
And the last one is shugaku ryoko, and that means school trip. So this is done by your students. It might last one day and it might expand all the way to a couple of days where they sleep over. So hopefully when you come to Japan as an ALT, you'll be able to use these sentences and put them to good use.
Goodbye everyone. Thank you for watching and see you next time.
Sayonara!